children, today I am going to take your English as well as geography class. Let me first take your English class. Take out your Radiant Reader book, Chapter 5 Shape, written by W.H. Davis. When I was once in Baltimore, a man came up to me and cried, "Come, I have 1800 ship and we will sail on Tuesday's tide." Through this line, the poet imagines himself to be a sailor. According to him, at the time he used to live in Baltimore, a man came up to him and asked for a favor that he wanted to go on sailing on Tuesday along with his 1800 ship. "If you will sail with me, young man, I will pay you 50 shillings down. These 1800 ship I take from Baltimore to Glasgow town." Through this line, the poet says that the shepherd offered the sailor to sail with him, and if he sails with him, then he would pay 50 shillings. Shillings here refer to currency. That means he would pay 50 rupees for carrying those 1800 ship from Baltimore to Glasgow town. "He paid me 50 shillings down. I sailed with 1800 ship. We soon have cleared the harbour's mouth. We soon were in the salt sea deep." Through this line, the sailor says that the shepherd paid him 50 rupees and on this set out for sailing carrying 1800 ship. 1800 ships. Soon they left the harbour far behind, reached the deep sea filled with salt. "The first night we were out at sea, those ships were quite in their mind. The second night they cried out with fear. They smelt no pasture in the wind." Through this line, the poet says that on the first night, though they were out at sea, but the ship didn't disturb as they were quite in their mind. But on the second night, these ships became so afraid as they cried out loudly, as they couldn't neither see nor smell any green vegetation along with the blowing of wind. "This poor things for green fields," they cried out so loud, "I could not sleep. For 50,000 shillings down, I would not sail again with ship." Through this line, the poet, who imagines himself to be a sailor, says that those ships smelled each object for the want of green field. The ship cried out so loud that the sailor couldn't sleep, and so the sailor vowed to himself that never again, for want of money, he would set out for sailing carrying any ship. And with this, I am ending my English class, and now let me take your geography class. In geography, today I am going to explain the topic elements that affect the weather and climate. The elements that affect the weather and climate are temperature, humidity, precipitation, pressure, winds, sunshine, cloudiness. And the first topic is the temperature affecting factors that affect temperature and sunshine. The equator and the region near it receive direct rays of the sun. As we move away from the equator and go towards the pole, the sun's rays become more and more slanting. Direct rays heat up the sun more than the slanting rays. This is so because the direct rays are concentrated over a small area, while the slanting rays are spread out over a large area. Also, the direct rays lose heat as they pass through a shorter distance in the atmosphere than the slanting rays. Therefore, places near the equator have high temperature. The temperature goes on decreasing as we move away from the equator. Hence, the greater the distance from the equator, the lower the temperature. Winds can increase or decrease the temperature of a place depending on the areas on which they blow. Since the equator receives more heat from the sun, the winds blowing out from this region are warm winds. The polar region receives very less heat from the sun, so the winds originating in these regions are cold wind. Wind coming from the sea contain moisture and usually cause rain, while those coming from the land are dry. Local winds like hot and dusty too. Loo blowing from the North Indian plains in summer and cold Mistral and Bora blowing over the Central Europe in winter are good examples of winds that affects the temperature of a place. Cloud cover. Clouds cover reflect a quite large portion of sunlight, thus reducing the amount of heat reaching the earth's surface. Therefore, during the day, the temperature is lower when the sky is cloudy and higher when the sky is clear. At night, the cloud cover acts as blanket, preventing heat from escaping the earth's atmosphere. As a result, on cloudy night, the temperature does not drop as low as the temperature on a clear night. Precipitation, the process through which the water vapor comes back to the earth's surface, is called precipitation. Rainfall is the common form of precipitation. Hail, snow and sleet are other examples. Pressure, the force exerted by a column of air on the earth's surface, is known as atmospheric pressure. It increases or decreases according to height and is an important element of climate. Humidity, the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere, is called humidity. It varies from place to place and time to time. The higher the humidity, the more is the precipitation. And with this, I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.